Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the November 1st Impact Review. I know it's late, unfortunately, because of what's been going on in New York and my own personal issues. It's been very difficult to get stuff done. But I do have the Impact Review, so let's see what we got, baby. We got Joseph Parks, who comes to the ring before anybody else. And he basically says what he said in the office with Hogan. He wants any member of Aces and Eight, just one of them. And he says, I found a loophole even though I am not a member of the Impact roster. This is open fight night. I'm calling any member of Aces and Eight out. Now, all of them come to the ring, pretty much. I mean, there was a couple missing. But he's saying, I only want one. They come in and they're about to beat him up until Angle comes in, who has a gripe with them since last week. They kicked his ass. And Angle basically is getting pounded until Sting comes into the ring. And then Sting says to them with his bat in his hand, one of you is going to lose your mask. One of you is going to be seen. And I'm thinking, oh man, no. This is where it's going to go wrong for Aces and Eight Angle. This is where this Aces and Eight Angle is going to go wrong if they do this improperly. Right now, we don't know all these people in Aces and Eights. If these guys are only in retainer, in other words, they have temporary contracts, this would be better. Because, let's be honest, if these guys are going to come from OVW, they're only going to stay for a little while anyway, and they're going to go back to OVW. You cannot show all these guys' faces for the simple fact this is going to make the storyline so convoluted, so polluted, no one's going to care. You're going to have a whole bunch of people, just like the Off the Rope show said. If you got so many people that are in one big group, no one's going to get any type of exposure, even when they're on prominently, even if they go to pay-per-views. There's so many of them, there's no one's going to be picked out. So if it's going to be maybe one or two of them, and the rest keep their mask on and go back to OVW if they're even there, if they only got temporary contracts, it would be better. If they all show their faces, this storyline is going to be crap. It's going to be no different than what happened with Immortal. It's going to be no different than, if I understand, the Main Event Mafia. I never got a chance to see the Main Event Mafia. But there were known faces, older faces, but the problem was that no new talent could come up from them. There were so many faces, so many people, no one could get over. Unless you were already over as it was, either as a face or a heel. So hearing this did not fill me with a lot of confidence. Now, I can say right now that, again, they had Todd and Jeremy doing the first hour. I love this. Changing it up. I know a lot of people are going to say that I am bored with Taz and I'm bored with Mike today. I understand that. They don't have as much energy as a Jeremy and a Todd. They don't. Taz isn't as energetic as he used to be. He used to be a little more energetic than that. And Mike today does not have energy. He doesn't. If he did at one point, he just doesn't give a damn anymore. So in this respect, we changing up like this, two things could happen. One, we have this permanently. Even if you get bored of the second hour of commentary, the first hour has a lot more energy to it. Or this might be an actual transition while these two are going to take over from basically Taz and Mike Tenay. I would be happy if they did. Let's have a total change-up. Let Mike and Todd take over for a while. Then let Mike Tenay go in the backstage. Let Taz stay on gut check. I mean, they're not going to get rid of the concept. He's still going to get paid. He'll still be seen prominently when they do the gut check concept anyway. So it wouldn't be bad if that happened. We still don't know, but that could work. Now, the promos with three, I take that back. Christian York, they did his promo last week. They sort of repeated it again. I really don't have a problem with the man. He looks like he could be a very good X Division champion. He looks like he can actually be a good TNA television champion, and if he's done properly, he could be a world champion if he has the credentials. The package wasn't bad. And like I said in my last Impact review, his honesty, saying that he's been in the business 16 years, he's not getting any younger, is an honest, truthful fact. So I liked it. What I didn't like, and only one thing saved it for me, and I'm not being a dirty old man, which I am an older man, was the Jesse and Tara segment. Honestly, the only thing that was interesting there was Tara in her low-cut shirt. That's it. Jason really isn't, he's too green. Honestly, he doesn't cut a very good promo. He's still very green. And being with Tara does not get him over enough. This doesn't really feel very right. Like I said, the only thing that saved it for me was Tara's cleavage. And that's saying a lot. Because this is this is one I want to make very clear to everyone. I know that the knockout is really badly presented right now. Yes, I'm telling the truth. There's not that many knockouts anymore. The tag belts are not being presented properly at all. The World Championship is even just as bad, especially that they took it off to Tara. Put it off to Tara, and Miss Tessmacher is now going to have to fight to get it back. So it really doesn't have the same strength as it did before. But let's be honest, WWE is not giving us anything. What do we got? The Eve segment, which could be over now, or she may still be trying to grab power, or the AJ segment where it may be going with John Cena, which is bullshit. There's nothing there. So even though I didn't like the segment that much, it's a lot more than what I would get from basically WWE. So I'm going to take it for that. And when it came to the ODB segment, where she's calling her husband saying she's going to be going after Jesse in the ring, let's be honest, I thought this segment was going to have Eric Young facing Jesse. That at least Jesse would have someone to feud with. This would bring Eli back. But when they had the match, when it came to ODB cutting that promo, trying to deal with Jesse, saying that he's this, that, and the others, and they're going, what? Tan, digging, muscle, bound, whatever. It actually fell a little flat, honestly. That promo fell flat. I don't even think ODB was feeling it either. The match itself was interesting, at least enough that we don't really see all the time guys and girls go up against each other. ODB looked like she was actually hurting her hand on his pecs when she turned him bright red. And then smacking his ass. Female fans might like it. And honestly, it felt empty without Eli. Because, let's be honest, even though the Eli ODB storyline is boring to most people, maybe to the casual fan is alright, but in this part, we needed Eli here to make some sense. Because he wasn't there, it felt empty. I thought that Eli was going to come back from the back once that Tara and Jesse was going up the ramp, and he didn't. They just showed what happened in the ring. Honestly, that really was bad. That was a terrible segment. It could have been much better. So we got, again, when it came to the backstage in Hogan's office, we had all the criminals there. We got Hogan, we got Sting, we got Joseph Parks, we had Angle, and then we had two new people. We had one of the Briscoe brothers' son, I think his name was Jake. I could be wrong about his name, I'm sorry. I hadn't really looked at ROH because I know the Briscoes used to be there, the sons of the Briscoes were there. So I don't know his name per se, and I hadn't been paying attention to him. But his partner, who was right next to him, as I said in my Impact review that the signs have begun, who do we got that we didn't need, even though, in a sense, he's involved? Garrett Bischoff. And basically, Angle screaming for Devon. He's getting him a turning point. He says he has two guys here, and both of them can do business. Garrett Bischoff can do business. Makes my head itch. Garrett has no skills yet. He's too green, but he's putting them over. Really? Really? And I'm doing the Miz thing because it makes sense. And then when it came to the Bully Ray and Garrett Bischoff, and then you have Garrett basically saying, I haven't been here, but I know I'm not supposed to be really doing this. I'm not trying to get in your business, but if you need me, I got your back. because Devon screwed me as well. How did he screw him? It wasn't shown on television that he screwed Garrett. This part of the storyline makes no sense unless Garrett is part of Aces and Eights in some form. Because you could say, yeah, it makes some sense because he teamed up with him a couple of times. He was his friend, but we never saw them break up. We never saw Garrett get his ass kicked. Nothing. The last thing we saw with Garrett and Devon was Devon putting over Garrett. So it made no sense. And then when he did the back, somewhere in that arena, where they started having the fight, and you saw Garrett at least once getting his butt kicked a little bit, Devon going and calling over Bully Ray. They scattered after Aces Eight got in trouble, and they scattered. And then you got Sting screaming, one of you's going to lose a match tonight. Okay. It wasn't great, but let's be honest. This is a lot more entertaining that we've been getting in WWE. At least most of WWE. Not everything, but most. Okay, we got the gut check, which I don't get. Finally they did gut check with Christian York. The man is Diesel, man. It's like this. Ooh, the man just like, he could be doing Big Papa Pump almost. I'm not saying that he even comes close to a Big Papa Pump. The man is built for his size. He's a big guy. But who does he go after? Or was presented to? Zema Ion. Zema Ion is a shrimp compared to him. And Christian York did some decent work in the ring. And I'm not saying he was great. You only work as well as with your partner, your dance partner in a sense, when it comes to wrestling. You got to work with what you're given. Christian York had to work with Zema Ion, who I believe isn't that great in the ring. He's got potential. If they change his character, he starts doing better promos and stuff like that, if they even let him. But essentially, he is a smaller man. Christian York has more experience. And he loses to submission. It makes my scalp itch. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, they should have let Christian York get this, because honestly, they need new blood that they can prominently feature. He's new blood. Austin Aries was around maybe, I think, what they say, 2006, 2005, or at least 2004 when he appeared and then came back and then won the X Division, then won the World Championship. This guy was there on the first day, just like James Storm. James Storm was there on the first day with this guy. I don't get it. He should be rewarded that he helped start TNA. He was in the first pay-per-view and the first match of TNA's existence. He should have been rewarded. How are they going to reward him? With a loss by a total rookie to himself? By submission? Seriously, no. That's bullcrap. He deserved better. So I'm going to leave it at that. We'll see what's going to happen when they do the next bit of gut check, when he's in front of basically the gut check audience, judges. And this is where we're going to wonder if Taz is going to make it, because actually, since I'm in the Bronx of New York, Taz right now is in Long Island, where actually my ex-wife and my child is out there right now. So there was a lot of information given to try and help the people out there. So I can commend them for doing this, because the WWE hasn't done it yet. They may have said something, but it hadn't really done anything, at least giving information. So TNA, I can at least say, is doing that, since they're not into politics, at least like Vince. So the next thing we got would be let's do this nice. The Robbie E.T. promo segment. Now, I said E.T. Simple. We've got the extra total nut jobs here that suck. Well, I could have said something better, but I couldn't think of it. But E.T., Robbie E and Robbie T, they're basically E.T. They're totally nuts when it comes to understanding what's going on. They should have been separated, should have been fighting against basically the brass to say separate us by now. I could say the extra testicles, but I don't even think they both got them. I don't think they even got a set for the simple fact they're still together. They should have been separated from each other. This is ridiculous. Send Robbie E down into OVW. He's boring. Robbie T has more potential than Robbie E. Let him stay in TNA. Let Robbie E go to OVW. But essentially Robbie E says, I want a rematch with Hardy because I beat him already. Quick match, thank goodness for that. But then we have Austin Aries, the greatest man that ever lived, baby. Actually, the greatest man in the universe. He said it like that. And as he's doing his promo, the crowd is saying, overrated, overrated. I'm going like, you got to be kidding me. Honestly, he's saying he's going to be getting his recognition back and his title. He's going to keep holding on to the old title, which now I understand the reason why they had Hardy with both titles. They want to split the title so it would be title versus title because of the ladder match. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a ladder match. Austin Aries says, I'm not a shingler. I don't do no ladder matches. I don't do no ladder work. Not bad. But you know what? Hopefully they hype this up more. Give us a little more because the backstage with Aries was a little weak. Aries does good promos backstage, but this one before this happened was just a little weak. I wasn't too happy with it. Now we have the... let's see. Oh, yeah. Hogan Beach Shop. Oh, Hogan's trying to open up some businesses so he can pay off his bills. Understand it. He owes a lot of money to his ex-wife because she took him to the cleaners, ladies and gentlemen. She screwed him pretty good. So he has to open up a beach shop. He needs the money. He wants to expand, which is all right. We have Matt Morgan going over to the beach shop. And he says simply, it wasn't a bad segment. You know what? You said I was missing everything. I'm not missing nothing. And then he said, no, wait, I am missing something. And he grabs Hogan's original cape that came from the late 70s when he used to be, I believe, with Classy Freddie Blassie. Because he really didn't use that cape until, like, in the mid to late 70s. After that, when he did Hulkamania, he really didn't need it anymore. If he ever used it, it was very rare. Because once he started Hulkamania in 1983 to 84, it wasn't necessary anymore. He was well over and he didn't need it. Like he didn't need Classy Freddie Blassie. He moved on to Jimmy Hart, which I like Classy Freddie Blassie. I always liked him. He was a great manager. Don't ever get it twisted. One of the greatest managers in history was Classy. He knew how to do the business well. When he was a wrestler and when he became a promoter and when he became a manager, that man had it going on. So supposedly Morgan now has the cape, and when it came to the Ryan versus RVD, and then we should say something very clearly about this. How could I think Hogan's about 6'8", 6'7" at least, and Morgan's 7 foot to 7'3", as tall as the Big Show? How the hell could a cape made for a 6-foot-something man fit perfectly on a 7'3" man? Just in case anybody wonders, that's not the original cape, because if it was, it would be up to his calf, ladies and gentlemen, because Hulk Hogan's cape did not drag on the ground. He didn't have that. He had a cape that came right up to the edges of his boots, so it would not drag on the floor and get dirty. And with Matt Morgan, it was exactly the right height where his boots are. So that shows that's not the original one. Just in case anybody ever thought, oh wow, he's got the original cape of Hulk Hogan. No, it ain't. And the match between basic Joey Ryan and RVD, it was short, good. Ryan wasn't too bad in the ring. It's obvious that he needs a little work, particularly when it comes to other people with varying styles. When it came to RVD, I think he needs some more work, that he can vary his technique, because he felt a little choppy when RVD got the footprint in his face from Morgan. and said, I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. I'm going to take out everybody. You're going to see how I'm going to do. It made sense for the segment. I didn't really have a problem with this. This could be going for turning point where Ryan and RVD are going to chase one another in the ring, and Matt Morgan will probably be there. And I really believe Ryan and Matt Morgan, if they're not going for the individual championships, maybe Morgan will go for the TV title. He might go for the world title, even though he says he's going for the world title. He may go for the TV one first. I believe that they're going to stick together. It actually makes some sense, at least for now. Last thing, Morgan telling Ryan, down, putting down the mic. Ryan was not looking at Morgan when he did his promo. Give it to me. That was a funny botch. I don't think that was a work. I think that was an actual shoot. That actually happened. Now let's see what we got here. We got the AJ Styles and Rude segment. Okay, baby. Both of them basically saying the same thing. They deserve a shot at the title. And AJ's calling him out. And I love this part. AJ calls out the WWE for using copyright infringement when it comes to always calling somebody out, especially what happened with me in the last couple of months. AJ seems to be a popular name. Ergo, what's been going on in an elevator? Not in those exact words, but basically he's trying to say, WWE, you're trying to steal my business, trying to use AJ Lee as the catalyst for what happened to me in my storyline. F you. I'm going to call you out on it. And Rue's going, I like that part. It was a good little twist on that. Because the WWE did steal it. Let's be honest. They stole a bit. So, at the point of Open Fight Night, when AJ basically said, let's fight, Rude said no. AJ turns his back. He gets clean clocked. They start fighting one another. And who did we have come out? It was Hogan, and we got the Cowboy. Now, Hogan talked to him earlier about, are you a betting man? Now, Hogan said it like this, and I thought this was very interesting. He said, for Turning Point, he didn't say it like this, but this is what I'm interpreting. On Turning Point, we're going to have the triple threat between all three of you. The winner between Rude, Storm, and Styles will face Hardy. Now, who loses and gets pinned, you won't even get even a thought of a title shot until Bound for Glory next year. So whoever loses, they're going to only get their shot at least at Bound for Glory 2013 or after Bound for Glory 2013. This is where it gets a little gray area. He didn't say that they're going to actually have a shot at it. He just said they won't even have a chance at the title by 2013 Bound for Glory. Either he's going to give them a shot at Bound for Glory, or they're going to have a match afterward. My guess would be that by Bound for Glory 2013, maybe by September, while the BFG series is going on, if that person isn't part of the BFG series, they will do something that Hogan will give them the shot for it. Now, this is pretty far off. This is just my guess. I'll try to remember that I made this video, but there's going to be probably dozens of videos after this, but I hope I'll remember. Anyway, that's how it went. Finally, Bully Ray and Devon. Because Bully Ray said throughout the night, I'm going to be calling Devon out. He finally called him out. The very interesting thing about this is with Bully Ray, first he called out the people in the Northeast. Where I am at, baby. New York got hit pretty hard. Right along Long Island, like I said, where my ex-wife and son is, they got a big mess over there. And him calling it out like that was very respectful. Like I said, they did a lot of information during the night, which I did like. Now, he called out, Bully Ray called out Devon. It was somewhat classic heel. Basically, the heel keeps jumping out of the ring, walking around. He doesn't need to always fight. He started causing trouble that way, which could throw a person off, which I didn't mind it. Devon called Aces and Eights. Aces and Eights come out. The rest of the gang comes out from the back. They start fighting Aces and Eights. Devon did almost get him for the table. I didn't say that earlier. But there's a reason. You see, even though Devon didn't get a chance to put him through the table was still there. And when Joseph Parks came in, we had a big mother effer, bigger than Joseph Parks, who is, we know obviously, is a Biff. And as he's fighting him, he pulls off the mask, and we see Luther Reigns, someone that used to be part of the Straight Edge Society with CM Punk. And I didn't think there was that many people bigger than a Biff. Luther Reigns is bigger than his ass, and he basically choke slams him into the table, and it's over after that. Everyone leaves. Luther no longer has his mask, so he's now been revealed. So, how do I perceive this show? Honestly, I'm going to say C+. Not going to change my mind about it. That's not a great grade. It's not. Particularly what happened with ODB, and that segment was not good at all. It wasn't. And almost forgot about what happened to the tag team champions. Ooh, I'll do that in a second. But honestly, the ODB segment was not that great. Wasn't. I do admit Gut Check was good to the point until York lost. That was not good. So that's what brought it down to a C+. But going to this, I forgot about the match, not having a match. But basically, Kaz and Daniels call out Willie and Hector, the commentary team for the Spanish announcing, because they wanted to mess with the champions. I would have liked Hector to had more of an offense, because he used to be a great wrestler. And it would have been better to give him more of an offense. But it's understood they have to try and build this up for a turning point. And it looked like Chavo looked honestly pissed. He didn't like seeing his uncle get beat up, because that is his uncle. It did make a better build than than it had been before. So it wasn't bad. I still say it's C+ show. So I hope you like the Zane's View. Give me a subscribe. Give me a comment. And unfortunately, I'm going to be late with the SmackDown review. You'll probably see it tomorrow, but you will get it. You have a nice evening.